Hello everyone, and it is time for the Gadsden Times Football Review. I'm Teddy Couch, and this is Kevin Taylor, and another week in the books.
Another week in the books, Teddy, and we are starting to see the playoff race starting to take shape.
Yes, we are.
This was the first week that a majority of the teams in and around the state open region play tonight, and we saw what we expected in some games, and then there were a few upsets. Even in our area tonight, specifically one that really kind of caught our eye was Westbrook losing their first game of the season to Vinemont tonight, 15-13, game-winning field goal with 40 seconds left to go in the game. So, like I said, it's that time of the year. Yeah. You know, it is now the second part of the season. We've gone through the preseason with a couple of preseason games. Now it's come down to really where it counts in these region games. Now, however, Vinemont and Westbrook, this was a non-region game, so Westbrook's still alive as far as the playoffs are concerned, but I believe next week things get real for Westbrook. So, but for the rest of the teams, it's every game counts up until we get close to late October.
All right, and I just want to say thank you all for joining us, and thank you to Allie's Carpet, located on Black Creek Parkway across from Gadsden City High School, for sponsoring us this week. And we appreciate you for joining us here late at night. And if you have any questions, just ask me and Kevin. We'll do our best to answer the questions.
Absolutely. And again, thanks for everybody joining us. Also, right now, if you go online to thegadsdentimes.com, you can check out some of the game stories that I'm sure will be posted probably any minute now, along with scores, videos, a number of photo galleries, which I know have already been posted from various games. I know we photographed the Southside Sardis game tonight. We photographed the Randolph County Glencoe game, as well as the Gadsden City Sparkman game. So you can check out all the cool photos that we had from those games, not just the action shots, but a lot of color shots, and so go check them out.
Absolutely. And you got some scores for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Just a quick rundown of some of the local scores. Coosa Christian fell to R.A. Hubbard 40-7. Etowah, number 2 in 5A, an easy win over Crossville 52-7. Gadsden City falls at home to Sparkman to open region play 21-9. Gadsden falls to Ranburn 40-0. Randolph County ranked number 1 in 3A, tops Glencoe 41-0. Hoax Bluff easily over White Plains 34-8. Hoax Bluff number 2 in 4A. Then the big game of the night, and probably the game of the week in Etowah County, Southside over Sardis 14-10. Like I said, Vinemont over Westbrook 15-13. Just a few minutes ago, because they were delayed by lightning, Cleveland tops West End 60-27. And then just a bit outside of our coverage area, Fort Payne tops Albertville 42-21. And Boaz over Douglas. Boaz now 3-0 on the season, 49-7. And probably another upset that I would consider an upset, Anniston over Cherokee County 14-10.
Wow, that was after Cherokee County's big win over St. Clair County last week.
Indeed, yeah, knocked off a ranked opponent, and then they fall to Anniston. So, like I said, this is now the second half of the season. We've gone through the preseason for the most part, and now it's the second half. So, it's every game counts from here on out, and we saw some pretty good games tonight. I know our staffers, Michael Rogers and J.J. Hicks, saw a really good game with the Southside Sardis game. Your game wasn't half bad either, was it?
No, it wasn't. Gadsden City trailed just 7-3 at the half. You know, Spartan was able to pull away late, and we'll get into that here in a bit. But I do want to mention before we get too far in, the game, you know, around the state, everyone was looking to was Thompson and Hoover. Hoover did come out on top, 45-26. So Hoover wins that one. You know, after getting them in the playoffs last year. So
right, yeah, and you know, well, what are we going to see? Are we going to see Thompson turn around and get Hoover in the semifinals? You know, maybe turnabout's fair play. I don't know.
You know, and this one's kind of one to keep your eye on for locally too for Gadsden City, because you know Gadsden City might be fighting for the playoffs end of the season. You know, and the winner of that region, Gadsden City, if they was to get 3 or 4, very likely could be going to Thompson or Hoover if it plays out that way.
That's right.
So this is one that could have implications on Gadsden City.
Yeah. So I mean, I would, you know, folks need to kind of keep an eye on Thompson and Hoover.
That Region 3 is the strongest in the state. It is a toughie. There's no doubt about it. You're going to have some good teams not make the playoffs out of that region.
Yeah. Yeah. You really are. Let's look at some of the other games a little bit closer. You know, tonight Etowah over Crossville, 52-7. Mel Smith with 3 touchdowns. He had 2 he caught, and then a punt return for a touchdown. You know, Etowah's just they're just rolling right now.
And I think he had a pretty big week last week as well. Mel did, and
yeah.
I was kind of curious to see how Etowah would kind of respond after the 19-0 win against Moody. You know, they played well last week. The offense kind of, you know, sputtered a little bit, struggled at times, but it seems like they did not do so tonight.
No, not at all. And you know, I had brought up the idea, you know, for our in the preview show earlier this week of the possibility of a trap game with Crossville, given the fact that Etowah then plays Sardis next week.
Right.
And another big game in Etowah County. So the chances of a letdown there were slim and none. Etowah took care and they handled their business and came away with the win. Again tonight, we want to thank everybody for joining us. We want to thank Allie's Carpet for being our sponsor. And if you're still up and got some questions about high school football, we'll do the best we can to answer them.
Absolutely. Also, R.A. Hubbard beat Coosa Christian 40-7 in Coosa's region opener. I have Coosa turned the ball over 6 times. You know, and R.A. Hubbard able to capitalize, scored 5 touchdowns off of it, including 2 pick sixes.
Yeah.
Caden Lipscomb was 10 of 30, 5 interceptions, 1 touchdown for 114 yards. He threw a 27-yard touchdown pass to Trevor Horn. They were able to hold Dartavius Britton in check, 11 carries for 24 yards. That's a tough task. We know how good of a running back he is, but he did have 2 receptions for 25 yards and also an 80-yard punt return. They weren't able to capitalize on that one, though. But Coosa's still a good start to the season for them, and they're going to be just fine.
Yeah, I think they're going to be okay. And you know, after losing this game, they get a week off. They get a day off. You know, they get a week off next week. So they've got a chance to really go back and review film and see where they need to get better. There may be a few dings and bruises there. You know, they've got a chance now to get well. And then, you know, on the 21st, they host Decatur Heritage, that's going to be a toughie.
Yeah.
So, you know,
timing for that bye week.
Yeah, Hoax Bluff does what Hoax Bluff does, and they took care of business as well. 34-8 over White Plains tonight. Hoax Bluff number 2 in 4A, and 2-0 on the season. Darian Meads, you know, what can you say about this guy? I mean, he's a beast. That's all there is to it. 16 carries, 227 yards, 2 touchdowns, and that's probably just kind of a light night for him.
I wonder if he even played the whole game. Obviously, we don't know that, but I'd be curious to see how many snaps he actually played in terms of during the ball game. So I'd be interested to see.
Just outside of our area, like I said, I touched on it earlier. Boaz 3-0. I can't remember the last time Boaz was 3-0 to start the season. Big, you know, easy win over Douglas, 49-7. Easton Harden, their quarterback, was 10 of 12 for $138, 3 touchdowns, just in the first half alone. You know, a lot of your key players for Boaz, much like I'm sure Etowah and maybe even Hoax Bluff, may have only played just a half, and then they let some of the younger kids play.
Right, and that's a big one for Etowah, Southside, and Sardis. You know, obviously Boaz is one of our teams as well, but for our
Right.
three county schools, you got to think. I mean, I haven't seen what did Alexandria, were they off tonight? Do you know?
I cannot remember.
I believe they might have been off, but you have to think that region is a 5-team race.
Yeah.
And between Etowah, Alexandria, Boaz, Southside, and Sardis, not in that particular order. So it's kind of curious to see how that turns out, and that's obviously Boaz is definitely trending in the right direction for sure.
I think you're right, Teddy. I think Alexandria was off tonight. So, you know, like you said earlier, there are some regions where some good teams are going to be left out of the playoffs, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
And then, I hate to say it, but then there's going to be some bad teams in the playoffs too.
That's how it works every year, isn't it?
Isn't it though? Wow. Other scores, just kind of touch on quickly. Randolph County over Glencoe, that was 41-0. Randolph County #1 in 3A. That's Region 6. As a matter of fact, your top 3 teams in the state all come from Region 6. Randolph County, Sacs, and then you've also got Piedmont. So you want to talk about a tough region, that's a tough region.
And you also have 3 other teams receiving votes. So I think it's Wellborn, Pleasant Valley, and Weaver.
Right.
I mean, Weaver, you could put Weaver in several other regions of 3A, and they're probably hosting the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tough region. You're going to, outside of that Hoover region, I don't think you're going to find one tougher. Oxford,
No.
Oxford, and Pinson Valley and Clay Chalkwell, that's a toughie. But I think top to bottom, that 3A region with Glencoe's and them, that's the toughest region.
Absolutely. You know, Glencoe, they struggled offensively tonight. Randolph County, 377 total yards of offense. Glencoe, 86. That's a toughie. So, you know.
It's a tough one for Glencoe to start out in region play. I mean, there's not going to be an easy one in that region.
No.
But what a way to start it out for them. You know, Glencoe's, they're going to have some growing pains this season, no doubt. You know, they'll be fine moving forward.
Yeah, I think so, and they may even bounce back next week. They go to B.B. Comer. B.B. Comer is not necessarily a world beater, so
Right.
so I look for Glencoe to kind of bounce back next week.
Absolutely.
Another game out there, Ranburn shut out Gadsden 42-0. That one kind of surprised me.
That one caught me by surprise too. I was driving back and I heard that score, and that one really did catch me off guard. I'm not sure exactly what happened in it, but that one shocked me.
Yeah. Then the big game of the night, Southside over Sardis, 14-10. Kenneth Bothwell, he had a pass play, first play of the drive, of 64-yard pass for a touchdown on their first possession of the game.
Wow.
And from everything that I could hear about that one particular play, it's almost like Coach Ron Doherty took a page out of Gadsden City's playbook when they played against Etowah a few weeks ago, and they went to their back right over the linebackers into the secondary, and he catches it, and it was nothing but green grass from there for a touchdown. So, you know, Bothwell with that, he ended up with 53 yards rushing on 11 carries, 4 catches for 95 yards, including that touchdown. So, you know, from everything that JJ and Michael said to us about this game, you know, really hard-fought game.
Right. And that was a toss-up. You know, we do picks every week. We call it the Gasperts, and that might have been the hardest one for me to pick.
Yeah, I was kind of conflicted on that one. I thought that, you know, if anything, it was to go with the home team, but you know, Southside, you know, bounce back and
big win
come
for the
to win.
Panthers. They needed that one after
Yeah.
the 2 losses. And like you said, these are the games that matter most, the region games, and they started it out. They may be 1-2, but they're 1-0 where it counts.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's a big
That's
win
it.
win for the Panthers there.
Exactly.
And what a game Sardis has to come back with next week, traveling to Etowah. Right.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, it you know, the next week we've got some really big games coming up. 2 really big in-county games. West End is hosting Westbrook next week. and that's a region opener for Westbrook. And then Sardis goes to Etowah. So those are two really biggies there. Hoax Bluff is at home against Aniana. And then, like we said, Glencoe goes to B.B. Comer. Gadsden hosts Sylvania. And so, you know, and then Gadsden City's at home against Austin. You know, we don't know a whole lot about Austin because they're moving up from 6A into 7A. You know, I'll say this, they've got a brand new high school, and that thing is gorgeous. But anyway, we'll see how Gadsden City bounces back.
Speaking of Gadsden City, that's where I was at tonight, and that's where the Gadsden City Titans fell to Sparkman Senators 21-9. And by the way, on Twitter, if you look at my feed, I was calling Sparkman the Spartans for some reason. So don't know why I did that.
Did you have Mountain Brook on your mind?
I really wanted it to be the Spartans versus the Titans, but my apologies, Sparkman. But Gadsden City struggled again offensively tonight. Offensive line woes continue for them. Had 31 yards at the half for Gadsden City with just one first down. Over Jamontez Woods, trying to get him going, just weren't able to. 19 carries for 32 yards. On Gadsden City's 13 offensive drives tonight, 7 of them were 3-and-outs. They had 3 turnovers, 2 picks, 1 fumble lost, a turnover and downs, and then they also had a field goal and a touchdown.
Right.
But at the half, Gadsden City's still in that ball game. I mean, you look at those stats: 31 yards with just 1 first down, and you're only losing 7-3.
Yeah.
Defense kept them in it again. Interception by Martavius Baker set up the field goal for Gadsden City towards the end of the half. They're down 7-3. Sparkman comes out in the third quarter, though. They get 2 touchdowns in the third. And, you know, just struggling for Gadsden City offensively. If they can figure things out with that offensive line, they really have the skill guys to make it work. I mean, you've seen them.
Yeah.
They got the receivers. They got the backs. They got 2 quarterbacks that are capable of doing the job. It's just the offensive line's a little bit of a struggle right now.
Well, and I wonder, too, tonight, and because I didn't get to see the game, I'm wondering how many were in the box for Sparkman to try to shut down Woods. You know, there's you know, the book is out on Gadsden City, and that is if you can contain Woods, you got a fighting chance against Gadsden City. So, you know, I'll be interested to see how many show up, you know, how many Austin throws at them in the box next week. You know, you may see 8, maybe even more than that in the box trying to shut him down. And that means that'll leave some leeway for maybe a pass over the top or even a slant across the linebacker's face to really kind of open up that offense a little bit. You know, so again, thanks for everybody joining us tonight. Again, thanks to Alley's Carpet for being a sponsor tonight. You know, next week it just the schedule gets tougher, and the playoff picture really starts to come into focus.
Yeah, we've got 2 county teams, or 2 games where 2 county teams are facing off against each other. We got West End will be hosting Westbrook, and Sardis at Etowah. Those will be 2 fun ones, and it's going to have playoff implications, no doubt about it. Yeah,
I agree. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to join us and throw a few questions our way. But for the most part, I think a lot of folks are ready for a little bit of college football tomorrow, early in the morning. You know, Auburn has got Alabama State, and Alabama's got Arkansas State. And of course, we don't need to bring up the quarterback situation very much on that. We don't want any phone calls from Coach Saban. So anyway, I'm about ready to wrap it up. Teddy, what about you?
Absolutely. Also, before we go, I'll be at Jacksonville State tomorrow. They'll be back at home. Big game for them, first home game for them since the tornado in March. So that's going to be a big game for them. And they'll be hosting Mississippi State Valley at 6 o'clock tomorrow night at Burgess Snow Field. I'll be there, and I'll, you know, right from there, and Dave Hyatt will be there taking photos. So check out that photo gallery tomorrow night.
Absolutely. We will have it as soon as Dave gets us the photos, and as soon as Teddy gets us information from that game, it'll be on the GadsdenTimes.com, and we hope you join us. Again, thanks for joining us tonight, and we thank you for your time, and our time is out.